the guest of honor is here, and so I will invite him to join us. Riley, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound pretty good.
Okay.
Cut out just a little bit, but I think we'll have some of that since you're in Dubai.
Oh shoot. Well, I can move around if I need to, if it's bad, but I'll
No, you
just
sound
let me
clear right
know.
now. Yeah, you sound good right now, man. You sound good.
All
So
right.
how are we doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well. We're halfway across the world or more, but can't complain. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good life, right? What's Dubai like? How are you liking it?
It's warm, but I can't. That's my biggest complaint. It's been really fun. It's been really fun. I had a jam packed day today. I played some golf and then jumped out of an airplane for the first time, which
Oh,
was a little bit
jeez.
intense. We're definitely trying to live up every second over here.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, you knew that today was going to be the Q&A and that was going to be the highlight of your day, so you thought, let me jump out of an airplane so that I can do something that's nearly as exciting as a Discord Q&A.
Yeah, had to get the adrenaline up prior.
Well, yeah, thanks so much for joining us, man. So, just to fill everyone in, this Saturday is the Dubai World Cup, right? And Hot Rod Charlie is has been looking pretty darn good, would you say?
He does. He does. We're really really happy with how he's settled in here. He's been here for almost 2 months now, and he's gained a lot of weight, and they take very good care of the horses over here. So he's settled in very nice. It's great.
That's awesome. It's cool that you guys got him there early so he could get acclimated to the time change and the climate and all that, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's two kind of ways to do it. Either ship a horse halfway across the country or halfway across the world, far in advance to where he has time to acclimate and get used to it and all of that, or you kind of send him last second and hope he
Hope for the
doesn't know that
best.
he's not away from home and before he's running. So those are the
It,
two strategies.
it seems like you guys, I think you guys are doing the right thing there, and we'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, we're following a playbook that past trainers and others have done that's worked out well. So hopefully we can keep that tradition going.
Absolutely. So, what do you think? What do you think of the competition? How's Charlie's odds?
Yeah, so he right now he's second favorite, which
Hmm.
likely to be the case when they break from the gate on Saturday. There's a huge favorite in the field, likely the best horse in the world right now. In Life is Good, will go off as the favorite. He's pretty
Sure.
undisputed, but that being said, he's never gone a mile and a quarter, which is it will be his longest test
Ah,
to date so far. So that's the one variable is we don't know. Nobody knows if he can, sustain that speed that he's shown every race in and race out through the mile and a quarter. Charlie's done that in the Kentucky Derby
yep,
and elsewhere longer in the Belmont Stakes, which was one of his best races. So we're
yeah.
hoping that in that last furlong or two, Charlie can give him a run for the money.
I love it, man. I love it. To speak photo finish live language, you guys have the stats, the traits to make it, and we don't know if life is good. We don't know if he's going to be able to go the distance, right?
That's right. That's right. I think Charlie's stamina is close to that three boost, and who knows where life is good at. I know he'll be there, and it'll be a close
Yeah.
one, but we're looking forward to it. That's for
That's,
sure.
I love it. I love it. How's the team feeling? How's the jockey feeling?
He's doing great. He actually just got out here. Pratt just got out here today,
Good.
and along with our trainer Doug O'Neill and half of Doug's team's been out here the whole time with Charlie, but Doug's out here now and the whole team's assembling and we're getting ready. Some of my best or my favorite moments are heading to see Charlie early in the mornings when the barn's quiet and the horses are just getting prepared and kind of waking up and getting ready for their days and I got to do that this morning, and we'll do that the rest of this week. And
That's so cool. That's really
it,
cool.
it, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to monopolize all your time, and I know that you have a hard out at 2 o'clock our time. So why don't we open it up for questions? Whoever wants to speak with Riley, go ahead and hit the raise hand button there at the bottom, and uh, bring your questions and well wishes for Riley and the team for Hot Rod Charlie. Let's see if anyone raises their hands. Give them a sec. Okay, we got Space Jason here. He's a uh, big member of our community. We'll bring him in. Space Jason, I believe I have given you the ability to speak. Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. What you got for Riley? Hello?
Oh, hey, sorry about that. I let go of the button.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, the field this year is pretty stacked. So I was wondering, beyond the odds, what do you guys see as your stiffest competition for the race?
Yeah, great question, and you couldn't be more spot on. It's one of the tougher Dubai World Cup fields I think we've seen in a little while now, and obviously life is good. The favorite's going to be up there, but in my opinion, Country Grammar is a Bob Baffert trained horse who just came back from a long layoff. I think it was like 7 months or so, and ran for the first time in the Saudi World Cup since then, and put in an awesome race and finishing second, and shipped over from Saudi to Dubai, and is getting geared up for this race. I think he'll be tough as well. And outside of that, Midnight Bourbon, who we've taken on quite a few times now, and developed a little rivalry with, will also be there in the mix. He's such a consistent horse, and likely to put in a big strong effort. And then outside of that, there are a bunch of other awesome horses in here, and you never know in horse racing. But I'd say those two in particular are up there alongside Life is Good.
Yeah, awesome. I see. Hot Rod Charlie's kind of starting out in the middle gate there. Is he number 7, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We were at the post position draw on Tuesday, and sorry if there's some background noise where
You're good. You're good.
Okay, cool, awesome. But yeah, we're right there in the middle. Life is Good drew the rail, the one post position. So we know he's gonna go out firing and try and get to the lead. What we're hoping is that there's a few other fast horses, particularly outside of us in Midnight Bourbon and Hypothetical, which is a Dubai-based horse that can be quick off the gate, and we're hoping that they challenge Life is Good at the start of the race and throughout the first 75+% of the race to hopefully tire out Life is Good a little bit more and challenge him to expend a little bit more of his energy to where that we can pick up the pieces late and make our run a little bit later. I mean that's obviously best case scenario, and horse racing is horse racing. You never know what's going to happen, but if I could choose a dream scenario, I think that's how it would go down.
Awesome. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Yeah, thanks, Space Jason. That was good stuff right there. Who else has questions for Riley and the Hot Rod Charlie guys? Anyone? Any hands? And while I wait for hands to come up, just wanted to again thank you so much for joining us. This is really cool, and we're very excited. We love watching Charlie race, and it's funny because we think about the traits again, with Photo Finish Live, and every time I've watched him race, the thing that sticks out to me is heart. Like I feel like he's got that 3 in heart.
You couldn't be more spot on. It honestly gives me like goosebumps talking about it. Just the way that the guy battles and is just so competitive, and you can see it. It's really really cool and so consistent. And if Hot Rod Charlie had a defining trait, I think it would be his heart. You're
I
spot
think so
on
too.
there.
Yeah, man. Looks like Sure Shot wants to come in. Let us bring Sure Shot in. Hey, Sure Shot.
Thanks for your time again.
Of course.
Yeah.
Here's Riley.
You could maybe contrast a little bit of the track versus over there in Dubai versus the States, maybe as far as, from the paddock and where we're keeping the horses, and then maybe the atmosphere in the stands as well.
Yeah, of course. I'll tackle that last part first. The stands and the whole setup here in Dubai is quite incredible. You pull up to the entrance and it could easily be like an international airport. It's insane that the amount of time and money and funds that go into racing over here. It's such a big part of their culture. It's really really cool and just an awesome thing to be a part of. But in terms of the way the stables and the horses are taken care of, like I mentioned earlier, it's really top notch. One thing that's a bit different is Charlie's about 2.5 miles from the track itself. His stables are much further away than what he's normal or what he's used to. So one thing he's had to get used to is that journey and slow trek. Charlie absolutely loves to be on the move and on to the next thing and if at all possible running. So getting him to calm down and chill out and take a 2 mile stroll to the track was definitely a bit of a learning curve for him. And then the track itself is also quite different from many of the tracks in his home track in Santa Anita, California. It's much more loose, flowy, deep, light dirt, as opposed to Santa Anita and a lot of the other tracks in California being much more firm. The hooves don't sink into the dirt as much, and we think it's going to benefit Charlie compared to other horses. He seems to just be floating along the track, and it's a big topic of conversation whenever a horse is traveling to a new track. It's like, oh, does he like the track? One of our exercise riders for Charlie, Johnny, is an awesome guy, but he tends to make the same joke no matter where Charlie goes. As soon as he goes past all the people watching on the track, he'll go, oh, Charlie doesn't like the track. He loves it, and like makes this like whole like thing like parade. But it is true here in Dubai where he really really does like the track, and it's cool to witness.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Riley.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Short Shot. Yeah, anyone else who wants to talk to Riley, raise your hand. Yeah, it's funny. I've been watching horse racing since I was a kid, and there have been a lot of great personalities, but I feel like there's just something about Charlie. He's just, I don't know. He's got a magnetic personality. It comes through the TV.
It's really fun to hear you say that. Obviously, I think the same.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's really cool to win for him to win the Vox Populi, the kind of Horse of the People award, and like the people's fan favorite. It's such a fun thing. I'm so blessed and lucky to be a part of it. It's really
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, and it's so because it is a great story. Not only just how great he is, but the story with you and your Brown University, compadres all coming together and like it, as we talked about last time, and maybe you can go into it again. But I mean, how could you possibly imagine that this would be the horse you guys end up with?
Oh yeah. I mean, we never in a million dreams thought we'd be in any sort of situation like this. It was always a running joke, like, oh, like how can these, five dumb college buddies like make it to the Kentucky Derby? Like, ha ha ha, like that. Yeah, that's never gonna happen. But and then Charlie being a little bit of an underdog story in terms of like his purchase price compared to a lot of other thoroughbreds out there. Like he was definitely a bargain or value play when comparing him to a lot of his comrades. So it's cool to have it all line up, and like I said, we're so lucky. Like we say all the time, we don't deserve this. We didn't do anything to like make this happen. We just hit the lotto in a sense, and are trying to make the most out of it and have the most fun we possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, you play the cards you're dealt with, and sometimes those cards are great ones. Sometimes it's a
Yeah,
royal flush. So,
yeah, yeah.
if anyone wants to talk, feel free to raise your hand. We're about the halfway point here, and we don't want to keep Riley. We know he's got a busy schedule, jumping out of a couple more planes probably today. How was
I
that? Was
hope
that the
not.
first time that you skydived?
It was my first, and will likely be my last. I loved it. I loved it. I'm really glad I checked it off the bucket list, but I'm not one of those thrill seeker, adrenaline high type guys where I need to be jumping out of planes all the time. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's something I thought about as a kid, and as an adult, I don't think I could ever do that. No. So, I'll say it again in case for new people. If you want to join in the conversation, there's a little hand down at the bottom of the screen. If you click that, it'll raise your little hand, and you can come in and ask questions or just wish Hot Rod Charlie luck. So, as far as Charlie and his personality, what is when he does well. I was gonna say when he wins, but when he does well, what do you guys do? How do you reward him? What is his favorite stuff?
So funny enough, his favorite treat is a peppermint, like
Oh,
it's like a standard peppermint, and we have mounds and mounds of peppermints out in the barn, and it's wild. As soon as you take off the wrapper, he can smell it, and it's like game on. Like he knows he's getting fed a treat. But uh, we like to give those few and far between, similar to
sure.
training a dog. Like you don't want to be rewarding him for just fucking
Of
up
course.
and going crazy or anything. But yeah, funny enough, he loves peppermints.
I think I smell a marketing opportunity here. Hot Rod Charlie branded peppermints.
I like it. I like it. You're thinking one step ahead of me.
Looks like Philly Shell's got their hand up. They're another good member of our community. Let me go ahead and bring them in. Here we go. I think I did that right. Let me do that again. Okay, Philly Shell, say something.
Hey,
Hey.
man. First of all, good luck this weekend. But moving past that quickly, I was just thinking, you guys seem to have come into the situation. It's gone really well. Like, what do you think post racing career for Charlie? Like, how do you handle that? And like, how do you even go about thinking about what you charge for like the first set of the first season or whatever of breeding
Yeah,
you have?
yeah, it's a great question, and um, a year ago, I would have answered this question by saying I have absolutely zero idea. It's nothing I've ever even thought about in my entire life, and likely would never think about in my entire life. But so the way that most of that happens is you kind of make a deal or bring in a partner, and that partner is one of many thoroughbred breeding farms. There are plenty in Kentucky and elsewhere, but a lot of the high class, best in class thoroughbred breeders are in Kentucky. So before the Kentucky Derby, actually, we made a deal with Gainesway Farm out in Kentucky, and they, upon retirement of Hot Rod Charlie, will house him at his farm at their immaculate grounds. I should say it's quite incredible the amount of work and and just to be frank, money that goes into some of
Oh,
these
I'm looking
breeding
at the
farms.
pictures. My goodness, yeah. What a
It's wild. I would
yeah.
suggest everybody just Google Gainesway Farms, but yeah, so he'll be retiring there once he's done with his racing career. We fully plan on him, staying in training and in racing through this calendar year, with the main goal after Dubai being the Breeders' Cup again.
Yeah.
We'll try and make another run at the Breeders' Cup Classic. We finished fourth in it this year, so came a bit short. But the Breeders' Cup is, outside of the Kentucky Derby, really the Super Bowl of horse racing, and it's a really cool 2-day event that showcases the best horses in the world, and so that'll be the horse racing goal going forward. And then you never know, we might, I think it's a pretty small chance, bring him back for his 5-year-old season, but as of now, I'd say there's probably a little bit stronger chance that he'll retire at the end of the year and head off to his second job, and probably a little bit more fun and pamper job.
That's the dream, right?
Sounds like he deserves it.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome questions,
cool.
Felicia. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the follow-up, just based on what you said, I mean, I'm from New York. I grew up like around Belmont, so I always think of the Triple Crown, and like for my racing career or watching career, that's always been like the focal point of racing. But since getting into photo finish, I've learned about all the other racing that there is. But I would think that given that the Breeders' Cup, it's not your 3-year-old season, right? It could be anyone that theoretically is the hardest race to win, I would think.
Yep, that's right. I would say that the Breeders' Cup Classic, which is unrestricted to aged horses, 3-year-olds and upwards, is the hardest race in the world to win. It's probably the most coveted race. I mean, all of the big Triple Crown contenders in their 3-year-old season will hope to shoot for that race after the Triple Crown, and it really culminates the end of the season, the calendar year. Every horse, for those that don't know, it's kind of funny. Every horse ages on the same exact day, in January 1st of each year. They follow the calendar year, no matter when they're born. So they only have one chance as a 3-year-old at the Triple Crown, but no matter how old they are, they have could be multiple chances at the Breeders' Cup Classic, depending on if they can qualify and if they're good enough. So
amazing.
Very cool.
Thank you, Philly Shell. Awesome stuff.
Thank you.
I'll put you back in the audience. It looks like Space Jason's got some more for us, which is always welcome. We'll bring him back in. Hey, Space Jason.
Hey, thanks for letting me ask another question.
Of course.
So just quickly on the jockey that's going to be riding Hot Rod Charlie, how do you guys select a jockey for?
Oh, did we lose you?
Oh, sorry about that.
Nope.
So how do you guys select a jockey for a race like this? And as far as I think it's Antonio Fresu that's riding Hot Rod Charlie this year, is there a strategy that's involved? Are you guys in communication, like, hey, at this point in the race, if we're here, we want this to happen, or how does that work?
That's a great question, and there's huge strategy in selecting a jockey, and ultimately either sticking with a jockey that's ridden him in the past or making a change. And we're actually having Flavian Pratt fly out from the U.S., who's been riding him this past year or so, and he'll be riding him. You're right in that Antonio has been riding him in the mornings and galloping him and training him and been his exercise rider in the mornings. But we actually are having Flavian fly out for the race, and he just got in. So luckily we can keep that consistency with him. It might sound a little cliche in that jockeys and horses have a bond and a relationship, but it's honestly very, very real. And the relationship that Flavian has built with Hot Rod Charlie over the last year or so, back in California, back at Santa Anita, Flavian rides and trains him every single weekend, and obviously rides him in all of his races. So having him come out here and keep that consistency going is huge and should be huge. And then to tackle your second part of the question, we do generally talk strategy with Flatty or with jockeys and Flavian in terms of, you know, at this part of the race, if you're at this position, like let's hope we can get here. But when you have a top class, like world class jockey, you know, like top 5 in the world, like Flavian Pratt, you put so much trust into him in terms of letting him make those decisions, letting him, you know, circumnavigate the break right at the start and figuring out that initial positioning and all of that. But when you don't have someone like Flavian, like I have a couple of other horses that are younger and obviously not at the prestige of Hot Rod Charlie, and we've had jockey switches and all of that, and in those cases when a jockey is less familiar with the horse, there is a lot of direction and strategy that's talking just to inform the jockey, like, you know, hey, this horse is going to need a little extra help getting out of the gate. He tends to be slow, and if he is slow, let's just have him sit on the inside, save ground around the rail, and you know, he tends to kick at the end and make a good run at the end. So, you know, don't feel like you need to, you know, not be patient with him and get him up into the mix early. Like there's all sorts of that going on. But again, when you have jockeys that know the horses and are so just top class and so good at their jobs, a lot of trust is put in them, and they can navigate the races themselves likely better than we can hope to direct them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so kind of like coaching a professional athlete at that level.
Exactly. Yeah, the professional athlete knows what's best for him, knows what's going to work, and has the instinct to perform well on game day, and that's the exact same thing.
Yeah, you're just trying to find the right conditions for conditions for him to perform in. Yeah.
That's a huge part of it as an owner and trainer is selecting the right race for the horse. That's honestly the biggest job for the owner and trainer, and one of the most fun parts of it as well, and honestly one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to in Photo Finish Live is race selection. I think it's going to be so fascinating having, you know, a book of races to choose from in the next 24 40 hours, whatever the time frame ends up being, but like being able to correctly select a race based on your horse's strengths and the conditions and all that is going to be fascinating, and a super steep learning curve at first, and something I'm really, really looking forward to.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason. All right. Well, yeah, we are coming to the end here. Yeah, I love that comment. I mean, it's going to be so much fun, and I wonder if you'll have some insider knowledge, having done it in real life, as far as picking those right tracks and right conditions for your horses in Photo Finish Live. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I don't know. There are some really smart people in this community. I know that for sure. So I've been learning a ton just based on what other some of these community members are putting out, and I want to thank you guys, like, and gals. It's I've had so much fun in this community, and can't wait for the future and what everything is in store for Photo Finish Live.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, no, we couldn't be happier to know you and to be rooting for Hot Rod Charlie. We will be following closely on Saturday, waking up early, getting the coffee early, and man, it's gonna be a real blast. So good luck to you, and pass our luck on to, you know, our good wishes onto your whole team. And thanks for joining us, man.
Absolutely, will do. And thanks for having me, Jeremy. It's been great, and thanks everybody for the questions. It was a fun time.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Riley, and good luck, Charlie. See you later.
All right, let's go.